Navi, come here, Navi, my child.
I'm here.
I have a quest that I need to give you.
What is it this time?
Please go wake the child named Link. He has no fairy, and he needs to embark on his grand quest.
His name is Link?
Yes, his name is Link.
Where is he?
He is in that tree over yonder.
He lives in a tree?
Yes. All the children that live in this forest live in a tree.
Okay.
Just go get him, please.
Okay. Link! I'm here to awaken you to go on a quest. Come on!
Huh?
Come with me. Hey, now there is no need for that. You put that back down. Put it down, Link. Link, I'm just here to help you. No!
It seems Navi and the Hero of Time have gotten themselves into trouble. But that's okay, because it's still Zelda Month, and this is Ocarina of Time! Hello, welcome to Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me is my beautiful co-host and wife, Karradyne.
Karradyne.
There's also another beautiful person in this room. Karradyne, can you tell me who it is?
Link.
No, his name is Nick.
I thought it was Link.
No.
He makes such awesome Link noises.
It's our buddy Nick. He's the first ever guest on this podcast, and we had a rough time recording the cold open because of him.
Happy to be here.
You don't sound too happy, man. So, hey, what are we doing today, Karradyne?
Today, we're talking about the gourd flute of time.
Can you please stop calling it the gourd flute of time?
That's what it looks like.
It is not a gourd flute of time. It is the Ocarina of Time.
That thing.
Yeah. So, Nick, before we start, I got a couple of questions for you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so first question. Do you read books?
I don't know how to read,
Seriously?
but I try.
You try to read.
A for
Yeah.
effort.
The more pictures, the better. So graphic novels, manga, stuff like that is more my speed.
That's not terrible.
But like which graphic novels?
Yeah.
A lot of Star Wars mainly.
I mean,
Definitely into, superheroes, Marvel-verse, but Watchmen, stuff like that.
nice.
I've never read Watchmen.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Definitely worth the read. New show, not to get sidetracked off of the theme of the month, but the new show, I've heard great things. Haven't checked it out yet, but
I've seen bits and pieces of the movie. Is the movie anything at all like the comics?
yeah. So I mean, the movie is loosely based off of it. So
I see. Interesting. We might have to put that on the list for a future episode.
It's been on my list for like millions of years.
For millions of years.
Yep. Ever since I had a list.
That's interesting because you are only 29 years old.
Shh. We don't question things.
So you barely read books without words, just
Without
really
words.
nice pictures. What about video games? Do you play video games at all?
I do. I'm a big video gamer.
What is your favorite video game of all time?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I guess you'd have to, kind of break it down to, genre, class, that sort of thing. Can one really pick one game to be their favorite?
I can.
Go for
really
it.
easy. Star Fox 64.
Star Fox 64 is a solid. See, if we're talking 64 games, I would have to say Ocarina of Time is probably tied with Mario 64.
I mean, those are pretty much the definition of the Nintendo 64. Just throw in Banjo-Kazooie and you got fucking...
I agree. But then you also have Turok. You can't forget about Turok.
The controls suck, but it's still a great game.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, no, I can give you that. All right, so how about Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo, man, you're really going back. I didn't play much Super Nintendo growing up. We were more of a Sega family.
All right, then let's do Sega, because I have
Sega.
I know
Perfect.
nothing of Sega.
I had a Sega Genesis, and my top game would probably be, it was the Sega 6-pack, which came with 6 different games: Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Sonic, and those were really the only ones I played on there. There was a couple others, but really, like, Golden Axe and Streets of Rage were top tier in my eyes.
I'm pretty sure that Golden Axe was the gateway into your love for everything Nordic.
Yeah, I'd probably have to say that's true.
Yeah, I can see how that would shape you into the person you are today.
Yeah.
Karradyne,
Yes.
what's your favorite video game of all time?
Mario Kart.
Which one?
I really enjoyed playing it on the Nintendo 64.
So the one where you would tell your sister that you were...
That she was screen 1 and that I was screen 2, and she was constantly driving off into the water because she would whine if she didn't win, and I was tired of my mother telling me to let her win. So I concocted this devious plan to let her win. I was the master of Mario Kart.
Did she ever find out that you were doing that to her?
She only found out because our mother's bitch of a husband at the time fucking told her. It's like, you know that she's actually screen 1, right? It's not you. And then she never played Mario Kart with me again.
That's a shame.
You're a lot nicer than I was. I just wouldn't plug in the controller. And I'd tell my little brothers, man, look how good you're doing right now. You're doing so good. No, I'm not even touching the controller.
No, you were just smarter than me.
See, with my little sister, I would do that, just give them an empty controller and just be playing and tell them, oh, look, you're playing, you're winning. And it was just me doing the whole thing. But then again, she is 7 years younger than me, so she would have been...
Very gullible.
Like 4, 3 or 4. So, but yeah, we didn't play too many multiplayer games because she always started yanking the controller and the consoles would fall to the floor and I would get very angry.
You can't beat up a 4-year-old, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
You can. You just have to use a sack of Florida oranges.
Why
Gets the
Florida?
point across, and it doesn't leave a mark.
Why Florida specifically?
Well, we're in the great state of Florida, so it's good to get back to our agricultural folk.
But you know how hard it is to find Florida oranges in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I guess you have a point.
Exactly.
Do Puerto Ricans grow oranges, or...?
So they're orange. They call them oranges, but they're more like a mix between a grapefruit and a lemon. So they're
What?
fucking terrible.
Isn't it an
Feels
orange?
like the biggest lie of your entire life.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're disgusting, and people fucking love them. I don't know why.
Fair enough, man.
So I think I have one more question. Have you ever played Zelda?
Absolutely.
And you already answered the next one, which is, if so, what's your favorite Zelda game?
Definitely Ocarina of Time, but I do have to say Breath of the Wild came to a close second.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of the original Zeldas on Game Boy, and all those are fantastic. I'm a sucker for open world, so Ocarina was probably the first game that gave me that true taste of just sandbox open worlds. And from that point on, most games that I go for are going to be an open world type.
I see. So, I mean, yeah, I can see that being like a, I don't want to say a prototype because it did do open world pretty well. It was just empty. There was nothing to do outside of the towns.
I mean,
and
yes
Hyrule
and
Field.
No. You had different beasts that you would run into throughout the Hyrule Meadow. But I mean, there's just so much you could do, from, cliff diving with the Zoras, to fishing at Lake Hyrule, to going to Lun Lun Ranch and messing with the chickens. I mean, there's just always something to do. And I mean, my brothers and I would just find ourselves fucking off for hours on end, not even doing the main story quest. We would just fuck with chickens. Or we would grab a chicken and slingshot to the top of the windmill and then see how far we could glide off into town
With the chicken.
with the chicken. Little known fact, if you jump off something holding a chicken in Ocarina, you have a nice, safe glide down to the
Just
grounds.
like in real life.
Exactly.
Just like in real life. Make
Don't try that at
sure.
home, kids.
No, do try that at home, kids. Make sure that when your daughter is of age, she tries that, because that would be an awesome story to tell.
I'm sure Kaylee would appreciate that.
Yeah. My daughter flew with a chicken.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be something to try when we visit up north.
All right. So I think that's enough for the intro. So do you want to go ahead and get into discussion time?
I suppose.
All right. So this is discussion time.
Today, we'll be discussing The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, which divides the Zelda timeline into the Hero is Dead timeline, the Adult timeline, and the Child timeline, and is an action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo on November 21st, 1998 for the Nintendo 64. You can play the game currently on 3DS, GameCube, and Wii U. Chris played the 3DS version.
I only play the 3DS version of everything.
Okay. Along with the game, we'll also be discussing the Ocarina of Time manga written by Akira Himekawa.
We did this last week.
That was released on April 18th, 2016. It is part of the Legendary Edition short mangas based on a few of the Zelda games, 3 of which we will be discussing this month.
I probably should have changed that on the script. That stayed exactly the same as last week it did.
Oops.
Oh, well. All right. So tell me about this story. How does it start?
So Link is a child in the forest. He thinks he's a Kokiri. We find out later that he is not. There's the tree thing that is alive that tells them what to do, basically.
Nick is
I'm just waiting for one of you to pop a nerve over here.
Nick is about to have a fucking episode because
Feel the veins in my head throb on that one.
I've only seen Nick make that face a handful of times in the entire time I've known him. Hey, Nick, can you say what you want to say, please? So you don't have a fucking heart attack or a fucking aneurysm.
Basically, opening up the game, you have the Great Deku Tree. Give him the respect. He is the Great Deku Tree.
The Great Deku Tree.
Yes.
You have Link, who has not been assigned a fairy. All the other children of the forest all have fairies. And the Deku Tree sends Navi out to awaken Link because he has the Great Journey. And basically the game starts out with Link running around the forest, interacting with the other children. Some of them are kind of dicks, I'm not going to lie.
Fucking Mido.
Mido.
Right?
Mido is a dickhead. Fuck that
The
guy.
know-it-all brothers,
His
I hated
illustration
those
is
dudes. They're
terrible,
all
too.
sitting there with their fists out, and you're just like, fuck you, bud.
See, the one that I always kind of felt bad with was the one that's trying to pick up the rock the entire time, and he can't.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt bad for that
He
one.
was trying to clean his rock garden, man. I mean, you wanna help him out, but you're just a wee lad, so
That's true. You're only 11 years old. So in the opening of the game, you have to go see the Great Deku Tree.
Correct.
Dickhead Mido doesn't let you through, but you have to get a shield and a sword.
yeah.
Does Link have to get a shield and a sword in the manga?
I do not remember.
You just read it.
Yeah, but I read the beginning several days ago.
So you don't remember if Link had to get a...
So my predominant memory from the beginning of the manga is that ugly monster thing with the big eyeball showing up and like taking over the Great Deku Tree.
Goma?
Yeah.
The arachnid
eyeball
Queen
thing.
Goma?
Yeah, that thing.
Wow. Goma, that brings back so many memories. Do you remember the first time you fought Goma, Nick?
Yes, I do. I hated every minute of it.
Was it creeping you out, or
It was more of a pain in the ass, if I recall. You know, you have to carry the torch all the way through the Deku Tree to light the web on fire just to get down to that boss battle. And I just remember, you know, I mean, it came out in 98. I probably started playing it in 99, 2000, so I was still young in my gaming days. And it probably took me a good, 10 tries to keep that fucking torch lit just to light the thing on fire. And then trying to figure out that you were supposed to swing the torch down just to light it on fire.
I think the one that got me the first time was the one where you had to jump from the top of the entrance, and then just with your weight you would break the web and go all the way down. But Goma, for being a boss, it was kind of easy. You just had to hit it with your slingshot, then a Deku Nut, then wail on its eye.
Yeah, but I mean, trying to learn that, you go through a couple tries.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I don't remember figuring it out myself.
No.
I think one of my neighbors figured it out and said, "Oh, this is how you kill it." And I was like, "Oh, so that's how I learned how to kill it."
Back in the early days when we had to dial up our internet and go on to gaming forums to figure shit out.
We didn't have that in Puerto Rico.
I'm so sorry for you.
Not in 98. Definitely not in 98. So what happens to Goma in the manga? How does Link kill it? Does it turn into a magical person that needed to be saved?
I need to preface my whole part of this by telling you that I honestly wanted to DNF this manga. It was terrible. I hated it so much. And yeah, there are definitely bits and pieces that I don't remember at this point. I do remember it like trying to eat the tree or taking over the tree, basically. They do get rid of it. And all I could think about the whole time was, why does every Zelda villain just say, "Heh heh heh"? That's all they say.
It's pretty accurate.
That's their laugh.
Except for Ganon, it's a bit deeper. That was actually really good.
Dude, I've played this game so many fucking times. I beat this game once a year for fun.
I respect that.
Yeah, this was my one per year. And it's actually, I always actually beat it around summertime. So I'm on schedule.
Yeah, basically all I remember is the things that irritated me. Like, why the fuck does Ganon look human now and not like a pig like he did in the last thing that I read?
You're still stuck on that giant monster pig thing.
I'm still stuck on it. So stuck.
So, let me see. So after Goma dies, the Great Deku Tree spills a whole shit ton of lore that is very important to the Zelda universe.
Correct.
There's the three goddesses. One creates the mountains, one creates the skies, and the other one creates the forest. I don't remember which one did what, but I know it's Din, Nehru, and Furore. Did that happen in the manga?
I think so.
Because I know they talked about it in the Link to the Past one. They did mention the goddesses, but not by name, when Zelda was giving all that explanation in the sanctuary.
I think so.
What about the owl? Does the owl make the appearance in the manga?
Kapora Gabora?
You see the owl for like 2 seconds, and then I got the owl and Navi confused somehow. I don't know how I managed to do that.
I'll tell you a little fun fact. In the game, it is one of the longest talk sequences, and on the N64, you have to hit A to continue between each slide. So as a kid, you're just mashing through this thing because you've already learned it. You've already read this. And at the end, it goes, "Did you catch all that? Do you want me to repeat myself?" And of course, because you're not paying attention, you fucking hit A. And it starts it all over again. And you literally have to sit there through this again. It's a good solid 5 to 10 minute cut sequence with this fucking owl. And he keeps coming back again and again and again.
That is the worst.
Yeah. They did on the 3DS, they did switch him up. So when he's done talking, if you keep pressing A, it'll take you out of the conversation.
Good. At least they learned.
So how the hell did you get Navi and Kapora Gabora?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
Switched up.
You know, I kept putting this thing down to make my notes, and then I'm picking it back up, and I think I may have like wound up skipping panels in that process, and my notes are all over the place.
Yeah, you were sending them on our Discord, and I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? There's one about the Skull Kid, and I'm like,
No,
there's
we'll
no
get there.
fucking Skull Kid in this game.
Okay,
He's there
so
for like 10
no,
seconds.
The Skull Kid, there's a bonus story in the middle. So right after the child arc ends and we go into the adult arc, in between those two is this Skull Kid bonus story where Link is supposed to be like the hero in a play in the forest, and Mido is mad because he wanted to be the lead because somebody's gonna like get to kiss Sarai, and it can't be Link.
Saria.
That's whatever her name
Saria.
is. Okay, her. Yeah, you say it.
Sarai.
But there's a mask that Link has to wear. The Skull Kid winds up stealing his mask because the Skull Kid doesn't have a face and he wants to have a face. And they get mad at Skull Kid. Then bad things happen. Skull Kid ultimately helps Link and is like, oh, you gave me a face. You made me so happy. You think he's dying, but he's fine.
There is a part of that in the game as well. It's a small side quest where you have to get the Skull Kid his mask.
Yeah, it's the what is it, the Skull Mask or something?
Yeah.
And he's the one that gives you... No, he does give you a heart container, I think.
Correct.
For something else. Anyways, do you know what Skull Kids are?
They explained it that they're children who were like forgotten in the forest or got lost in the forest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was sad.
Creepy, right?
Yeah. They lose their faces.
It makes it even creepier that the bad guy in Majora's Mask is a Skull Kid.
I had a feeling with all the crap about the mask, it had to have something to do with Majora's Mask.
Yeah. So you were actually supposed to be here for Majora's Mask.
I was, but I'm glad
Life
I'm here
happens.
for Ocarina.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our guest couldn't make it, but Nick always comes in clutch. I'm so happy about that. He's
true.
a real friend.
We appreciate you. Not that
Almost
our
like
original
a
guest
best
was not a
man.
real friend, but life happens.
Yes. He had a something really bad happen. So hopefully he'll be in soon for something else.
Anyway.
All right. So we were at lore. Then Link goes to Hyrule Castle, sneaks past the guards, talks to Zelda. Zelda says she had a dream about a boy in green being followed by a fairy, and a dream about Ganon being evil.
Yeah. Her dreams would come in the form of like a storm coming.
Right.
As where Link was having dreams of this beautiful young girl being stolen away by a man in black on a horse. Link's a bit of a dramatic.
This blonde girl was being stolen by Johnny Cash.
Burning ring of fire.
There's a burning ring of fire in Zelda too.
Indeed there is.
Oh, Lord. Of course there is.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so did that happen in the manga?
Yeah. And Impa. Impa is there.
Impa's there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Does she teach Link the Zelda's lullaby on the
Yes,
ocarina?
on the ocarina. Yes.
Which-
because that helps Link get the horse at the farm that you mentioned. Epona.
Epona at Lone
Whatever.
Ranch.
Yeah.
Lone Ranch.
Yeah,
Lone
that,
Ranch.
there you go with the chickens that help you fly.
Yes, they do.
Yes. Remember, kids, grab a chicken, jump off your roof.
It'll
Good
work.
advice.
5 or
Good
6
advice.
times. It'll work.
Yeah. Eventually, the chicken will get tired, but first few times it'll work. So Link goes to Death Mountain to get the Stone of Fire, and he meets Darunia, and Darunia is being moody, and he wants something to cheer him up, and that's Saria's song.
Yeah, and he looks like what are those things called? He reminded me of
A potato.
a potato that had a baby
With a troll?
Yes, that had a baby with what the fuck are those things
A
called?
frog.
A golem?
Yes, but there's another thing.
golem?
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
A gremlin.
Yes, a gremlin.
There we go.
Yes, I was gonna say Gizmo.
A mangy gremlin. His mange is so bad that his skin is turning into stone.
I have to ask, in the game, is every single phrase that they say followed by Goro?
No. Oh.
Oh. In the manga, it's Goro.
That's so weird.
I want to say, doesn't the king start everything with Goro in the games?
Not that I remember.
I can't remember.
No. No. So Darunia gives you an amulet. The amulet, you use it to grab bombs so that you can go kill King Dodongo, so that the Gorons can go back into the cave and eat the stones, because Gorons eat stone.
So tasty.
Yeah. In Breath of the Wild, the stones look like meat. So it's like a giant bone made out of stone, and the meat around it is hot, and it's stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Link actually eats some of it in the Hyrule Warriors game, which is really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he kills the Dongo. Darunia gives him the Firestone. Then Link goes to Sora's domain, and he has to rescue Princess Ruto to get her amulet.
She looks like a mushroom.
Well, they're fish people, but yes.
An underwater mushroom.
Okay.
And that thing that she's supposed to marry looks like Jabba the Hutt.
What thing?
He's rescuing her from being married, basically.
Yeah.
That
The Jabu Jabu or something
the
like
fish?
that.
No,
Yeah.
the fish is the guardian of the domain. She is just her keeper.
She gets lost inside of it, kind
Yeah.
of like a Jonah and the Whale type
Yeah,
thing, or
Yeah.
she
Pinocchio.
does. She does, yeah.
They also say what did you call them?
The
Zora?
Soras.
They say Zora after every phrase.
Fuck, this manga just sounds
After
worse
every
and
phrase.
worse.
Yep.
I mean, I'm guessing since you can't get sound through pages.
But they don't even make those sounds in the
no,
game.
they don't.
Oh my god.
Did the
Jesus.
manga have like the creepy underlying like attraction towards Link?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
Everybody's
good.
in love with Link.
Oh,
Everybody?
Yeah. And she gives him the next thing that he needs that she's supposed to be giving to her betrothed.
Yeah, the water stone.
Yeah, that thing.
yes.
Yeah, everybody's in love with him.
Jesus
I think even the
Christ.
boys might be in love with him.
They might.
Mido.
Yeah. Mido. That might explain why he hates him so much.
Because he's secretly
Apart from
in
being
love
an
with him.
outsider.
Yes.
So what happens after he gets the water stone from Ruto?
I don't remember. My next notes are for the Skull Kids.
So there was a pause there for the Skull Kids?
No. Well, basically, we reached the end of the child arc. And I'm like, yeah, this whole thing felt like it was written for a 4-year-old. I'm like, hopefully things pick up in the next section. And then we go to the Skull Kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they show in the manga at all him taking the stones to Temple of Time, putting them down, getting the Master Sword?
Yes.
And Ganondorf sneaking in and stealing the Triforce?
Yes.
Did they explain any of why that was happening?
I don't think so.
Essentially, Link is discovered to be the hero of time, the one who can save the day, but he is locked away into the spirit realm
For 7 years.
for 7 years because he was too young.
Yes, they did explain
okay,
this.
good,
Yes,
good.
yes. Because I was just like, what the fuck? Because I remember at the beginning I had written down, why is he Kokiri and we're just now finding out about it? Was it just a secret? What is going on here? And then, oh, never mind. He's not.
Yeah, he's a Hylian. His mom escaped some sort of war, and she crawled in, dying into the Lost Wood. Not the Lost Woods. The Kokiri Forest, and the Great Deku Tree said, "I'll take care of him."
Yeah.
So, which makes
He
me
knew
wonder.
he was destined for greatness.
He probably did. The Great Deku Tree is very wise and all-knowing. Also makes me wonder, where the hell do the Kokiri come from?
You got me there.
Yeah.
I mean, I always kind of saw them as like forest nymphs, especially since they're so tightly bonded to, the fairy folk.
I could see that because one of them really does creep me out in the quest where you're trying to get the Bigoron sword. When you come back with the potion, the girl's just standing there, and you ask where the guy went, and she says, "Oh, he's one of the not the Skull Kids because he was too old."
Yeah.
So she said he became a Stalfos. Shit, he became a giant skeleton person,
Yeah, basically.
and she says it so happily too. Creepy.
I mean, when your whole life you're kind of basically a child, we never see them really grow other than Saria, right?
Yeah. Well, Saria doesn't grow; she stays little. But
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But so I mean, if your entire life you're a child, just kind of playing Robin Hood in the woods, maybe becoming a giant skeleton monster is the next step.
I guess.
That's logical.
Might be right. So when the Temple of Time opens and Link pulls the Master Sword from the pedestal and he gets stuck in the realm, the spirit realm, that's when Ganon sneaks in, takes the Triforce, makes his wish. That's where the timeline splits because the timeline goes adult and child, and then when the hero dies, and the hero dies isn't really explained if the hero died fighting Ganon during his quest or if Ganon killed him while he was just standing there holding the Master Sword. So that's where everything diverges.
That makes a lot more sense now.
And there's the Sage of Time, Rauru, who gives Link the medallion and tells him, okay, so now you're an adult, go save the world. As soon as he comes back, Sheik is standing there.
Correct.
You hate Sheik, don't you?
That was the most fucking obvious thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. That was... Oh. Like, come on, people. Come on. Anyway.
So,
yeah.
I never saw coming that Sheik was Zelda.
No.
Let me tell you,
No,
this
I didn't
manga is
either.
not great. It's not great.
See, because the thing is, in the game, you barely see Sheik. Whenever you see Sheik, he gives you a song and lets you know more or less what you have to do and then disappears.
Yeah.
So because Sheik looks like a guy, everybody thought that it was just a different person, another hero. In Puerto Rico, they just call him the Link of the Future, which I don't know how that would make sense, having two Links in the same timeline.
Because, I mean, I was also looking at the art in the manga, and I can look at Sheik however fucking long I want to, and just from that one eye and the hair, I knew it.
Wow.
I
Makes
knew
sense.
Yeah, well, we weren't that smart.
You were also a adult. We were mere children.
Yeah, I was 8
So.
years old when this came out, so I don't...
You were the 4-year-olds that I felt like this manga was written for.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, God.
Yeah. In all honesty, I probably would have ate that shit up if I was a kid reading.
Well, you know, you also have a lot of history with it. I have none. And I did genuinely enjoy the last one. It's just, this one lost me. It lost me real far.
It
out
feels
left
like
field somewhere.
It feels like they took way too many liberties with it.
So, does the next part of the game start with him going back to the forest and, like, hanging out with little Mido? Mido doesn't recognize him. It's like, that jerk Link left, and now whatever the hell her name is gone because he won't come back.
He does have that fit,
Yeah.
but Link doesn't hang out with Mido. You basically just go there to get the amulet. The fact that it's in the Kokiri forest, it just really has nothing to do
And,
with
like,
it.
all the monsters have infiltrated, and I was really confused. They were attacked by a painting? Does that happen in the game?
So the boss in the forest temple is Phantom Ganon.
In a painting.
It's a phantom that jumps from painting to painting.
Okay. I was like, did I take something earlier? I'm just really confused.
So
It's also quick. I mean, the whole damn thing. It's like 1 page worth, and then we're done. 1 page, we're done. Nothing is drawn out. Nothing.
That's so
Except for the
weird.
damn Skull Kid.
Takes way longer to get through those temples
Yeah.
on one page.
yeah. The forest temple, I am not a fan of the forest temple.
Let me ask you, how long did it take you to realize that you had to have the volume up so you could hear the music, so you knew which path to go down?
Not long, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, then it was just me.
Not long.
Growing up in a house of many people, you had to keep things quiet. So, it took me quite a bit of time before I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be listening for music to get through this.
But at least you figured it out.
Yeah, after a while.
Thing is, like, I played this game so much that I can play with the volume off, and I can somewhat figure out the path. Because it's like right, left, right, and then it's the pond and Mido being an asshole.
Yeah.
And then you go through and you're there.
Yeah.
Poor Mido.
So, but that temple, I don't like that temple. That is probably that's probably the only temple I hate in the whole game.
Really?
Yeah, because it's so fucking confusing. I feel like I get turned around so easily in that temple.
Yeah.
And then you have to find the stupid Poe sisters and kill the 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can get all the torches lit so you can go to the bottom and fight Phantom Ganon, which is never really explained what the fuck he is. Like, Ganon, when you kill him, Ganon says, oh, this Phantom, what a waste of space or whatever. And I don't know if it's Phantom's actual ghost or if it's a ghost of Ganon's personality or what the fuck is it supposed to be?
I mean, my guess is it's probably just a materialization of Ganon due to, him being the king of evil, self-proclaimed, and kind of turning the world into more of a shadow world. That's how I always perceived it, that, it was kind of more just a materialization of Ganon through his... Yeah, since he has all this OP power from, the Triforce, but he wasn't the chosen one, per se, like Link.
Right.
So, and that's how we get to where we are, where all the stones are now scattered once again, and the 3 chosen people have a piece of
Ganon, Zelda, and Link.
Correct.
Yeah, so you kill the ghost, you get to find out that Saria is the sage of the forest.
I was gonna say that.
You were?
Yes.
Did you like Saria?
I mean, I felt like there was minimal page time for her. Page time, like screen time.
Did make her a little
we don't
know-it-all.
see a lot of her. I mean, she's there in the very beginning, and that's about it.
That's true.
Then we find out she's the sage of the forest when we kind of forgot who she was.
And we're moving on.
Yep. So before
I'm being unkind here, okay?
No.
But she's not that present.
So I always got the feeling while I played the game that Saria was trying to be Link's friend, and Link wanted nothing to do with her.
Yeah, there's definitely like a crush thing going on there, where she was just head over heels with Link, and he's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm the forest bad boy.
I have no fairy.
I got no fairy, so what?
Keebler elf.
Y'all got green hair. I got this blonde hair. What up?
I look like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Whatever happened to him?
He quit acting or something.
Bless him.
But yeah, like she gave him the ocarina. He left. He got Zelda's ocarina and threw hers away.
I mean, it was definitely an upgrade. But you could tell he had like the hots for Zelda. 'Cause, I mean, he dove into a moat to get that ocarina.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was like about this.
Not only did he get it, he played it.
Yeah.
After it being in that dank ass water.
I mean, can you imagine what was floating in that water after like 7 years of, Ganon wreaking havoc in Hyrule?
Yeah, probably the same crap that's floating in a fucking well in Kakariko Village. So then Link goes back to the Temple of Time. Sheik says, okay, now you can travel back and forth between time by putting your sword back into the pedestal, which that never really sat quite right with me. How can I go back in time by putting the sword down?
It's the pedestal of time, and it basically acts like a key.
Okay, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a button underneath the pedestal, and you just need a
If you
pointy
push
thing
it down hard enough,
you
then
just need a pointy thing to hit that button, and it sets off the time switch. You know?
The thing that I never sat right with me is because depending on what timeline, well, in the rest of the timelines in the other games where you get the Master Sword, it is still the same pedestal. It is still the same sword, and there's no time powers. Who turned them off?
A
I don't
bitch
know.
Ganon.
Maybe Kronos, the time god, got pissed at Link.
I don't think Kronos is in Zelda.
No, I don't think so.
No shit.
So then Link goes to the Fire Temple to save the Gorons from being fed to Volvagia.
Okay.
Poor Volvagia, though. That was so sad.
What are you
That was
talking
the-
about?
Do you not know?
No, he's a giant
I
demon
know
dragon.
something that you don't know.
I feel like this is something that they took liberty with in the manga.
Yep. Definitely. It's only like a page and a half because everything's glossed over so quickly.
Okay, what happened?
But there's backstory that Link like adopted Volvagia from this like dragon rescue, and when he was a baby, and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna set you free because you were being mistreated." And then he has to kill him, and it fucks him up. And they're like, "Oh, the hero's damaged because he had to kill the dragon that he loved as a child."
You need that weeaboo, you know.
Yeah.
Sorrow in there, the despair. It's not manga without despair.
He
Yeah.
keeps having flashbacks to this cute little like Spyro looking thing. It's quite sad. That's the only time I felt anything other than anger while reading this thing. And you're telling me it's not even lore.
It's not
Jesus
canon.
Christ.
It's not canon.
Ah,
Just like all the fucking apples from the previous one.
poor baby Spyro. Those apples are my favorite part.
So,
Jesus.
so Ganondorf had been wreaking havoc throughout Hyrule. The thing that he did for the Gorons was he was gonna feed them all to this giant fucking dragon that
Link
lived in the
rescued as a
mountain.
baby.
It's like if someone stole Luna and said, in 7 years, I'm going to feed the entire population of one town to this dog, and you have to go kill this dog.
My baby. Let her eat them.
Let her eat
But yeah, like it totally damages him. He's so distraught over having to kill this dragon.
I would understand being distraught over having to kill your pet with a hammer that's called the Megaton Hammer. And just
Literally
bash its...
smashes the biggest of boulders.
Exactly. You have to bash your pet's skull in with a giant hammer. So I would see.
My
why he's
literal
broken.
notes are: Link bought a baby dragon just to set it free. What the actual fuck? He cut off its head.
Oh, fuck.
That's amazing.
So after you smash Volvagia's head in
Cuts it off.
the manga, he cuts it off. You find out that Darunia was the Sage of Fire.
Yeah.
And
Goro.
you also find out that he named this kid after you. So there's a scared Goron rolling around called whatever you named Link in the game.
That's lovely.
That you have to stop by putting a bomb in his path.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
He won't stop. So
You
you have
literally
to
blow
blow
a
up.
lot of shit up in Death Mountain. A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
shit.
The first thing you do is blow up a giant boulder that's blocking your path into the Dongo Cavern. Okay, so after that comes Sora's domain, which is frozen over. Link has to free King Sora to get the blue tunic and then go into the ice cave behind Sora's domain. Lord Jabu Jabu apparently is dead.
Yes.
And you have to get the iron boots so that you can sink to the bottom of Lake Hylia and go into the water temple.
Yeah, I don't know that any of that happened in the manga.
I wouldn't be
I don't
surprised.
remember any of that. He meets up with
Ruto.
Ruto again, but yeah, I don't remember any of that happening. But
It's like a crucial part of the game.
the heat's getting to my brain, so I could have read that. I could have been so focused on the baby dragon.
On Death Mountain is you need the red tunic to get into the volcano.
Yeah, you do need the red tunic.
Otherwise, you overheat and you just die halfway into
walking in the volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
so
have like a
you
minute.
learned red for hot, blue for water,
and
green
somehow,
is just a fucking throwaway.
Yeah, somehow the blue tunic lets you breathe underwater.
I think they cover that with the gills, right? The Sora gills.
The scales.
Yeah,
the scales are for diving deeper because somehow having a scale, you can swim deeper into water.
You can swim.
Well, there you go.
Swim for longer seconds. But okay, so that you don't remember if that happened in the manga?
Not all of that. Definitely not all of that.
Huh. So he goes into the water temple. I'm gonna ask you, what do you think about the water temple?
Personally, I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Water Temple. I kind of loved just walking across Lake Hylia with the iron boots. As I mentioned earlier, I spent a lot of time in this game just fucking off. So, several hours were just spent walking from end to end, just kind of exploring the different things. So I enjoyed it, being able to kind of figure out having to switch between the iron boots to your regular boots to float, through the caverns to get where you needed to go. It was good.
See, I replayed it for this episode, and I think the first time I beat the water temple, I was like, oh, that's it. And now I just blazed through the entire water temple. There's only two keys that you have to get, that you actually have to go back to get and not just keep going forward. And that's the one where originally when you take the whole water level down, when you put it in the middle, you have to bomb a wall so you can get the key. And the other one is when you raise the water to the middle, you have to jump underneath the platform and then you find another key. If you do those two, you're not going to get turned around. Nothing is going to stop you from finishing that damn dungeon. It's so easy.
No, once you figure it out, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. It's just explore everything. Look at everything.
And that's where fucking off comes in handy.
Exactly.
You find every little nook and cranny.
Yeah. Then the boss, I don't remember the boss's name. And honestly, I don't give a shit. Because it's just a water tentacle that's being controlled by a ball of plasma or something.
Yeah.
Was that in the manga?
That's not ringing any bells either.
Oh, because probably in the manga they talked about Dark Link.
Shadow Link. Yes.
What about Shadow Link? What happened?
Link defeats him in like 2 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. That's another thing that I wrote. Like, he literally was taken down with no fight. It was done. There was nothing happened. You see him, punch, done.
That's so shitty. See, in the game, it's kind of hard to fight him if you have the Master Sword, but if you have the Big Goron Sword, all you have to do is just keep stabbing forward, and that's it. That's how I killed him.
The manga just makes it look like Link is capable of anything. Everything's super easy. Done.
Does he have those big anime eyes?
In the beginning, he does. In the child arc. Not so much in the adult one.
And after that, you have to go to the Shadow Temple. You go to Kakariko Village, and it's on fire.
Yeah, it is.
And Ganon's finally a pig.
No, not yet.
Oh, he's a pig.
So, you find out that you have to go into the well as a kid to get the Lens of Truth. But you have to learn the Song of Storms from the dude in the windmill.
What the hell?
He teaches you the Song of Storms in the windmill. You go back as a child to the windmill and play the Song of Storms, and he learns the Song of Storms from you.
There ain't no windmills.
Time travel.
Yeah. I mean, who originated the song? If you were from the future, learning the song to go back in time to teach the song to the guy, who created the fucking song?
We don't ask. We just do.
I mean, it empties out the well so you can jump in there and get the Lens of Truth, which it starts getting really creepy in there because that's the first time you fight the Dead Hand.
Yeah.
What?
Which is the bunch of hands in a circle.
What?
They grab you, and then this giant zombie-like monster comes out. He's like a cone with a really long neck and a head with a really big mouth, and he just tries to bite your head off.
What the
Kind of
fuck?
munch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, there wasn't none of that. I would definitely remember that. I would have notated, what the fuck are these hands?
What the fuck are these hands? That's what I
Throwing
said the
hands.
first time I saw them.
Oh, God.
Like, where the fuck do these hands come from? And then they grab me. I see that thing. I was like, oh shit, get out. And Link is not moving.
You were saying this at 8 years old?
Probably. To
Were
be
you speaking English fluently at 8 years old?
somewhat.
Yeah.
To be honest, I never finished this game until I was like 11 or 12, and I got it on the GameCube. Yeah.
Weakling.
I never finished it on 64. I don't think I know anybody that ever finished it on 64 when they were 8 years old.
No.
You were about to say you did.
So, dead hands are creepy. The hands that fall from the sky are creepy too. Did you see those?
No, there's
This-
no hands.
Did you see Redeads?
What?
Redeads, the zombies?
The skull people, the skeleton people.
No,
No.
not the Stalfos.
Oh,
Oh
Then
boy,
no.
what the hell?
I saw the skeletons.
That is weird.
Watch him go read this as soon as we finish this episode and tell me I was all wrong about everything. Everything he asked me about, I said wasn't there, was actually there, except those fucking hands. I know that it was not there.
So the Redead, actually we didn't say this, but when you come out of the Temple of Time for the first time as an adult, a lot of the people in the Hyrule Castle market have been turned into Redeads. So there's a bunch of zombies that were humans that you used to talk to as kids.
Almost all of them.
Yeah, because a lot of them got moved to Kakariko Village.
Yeah.
No.
No?
So you kind of just have to like run through this horde of zombies because they
Scream and freeze you in place.
No.
yeah, and if they get too close, if I remember, they climb on your back and kind of just start humping your back and draining your life force. True facts.
It looks like they're humping, but they're
Yeah.
actually just biting you.
So like literally as a child, you're just like, well, I don't want to get fucked by these things. So like,
And the thing is, the back of Link's head is pelvis level.
yeah.
No. That means the front of his head is pelvis level.
I got another saying for the a novel console list of sayings.
What?
Zombie jizz.
Oh God! No! Stop!
It goes
No.
up there with the Frankenstein dick.
No.
So you get out after you catch the lens of truth. Go pick the sword back up from the Temple of Time so that you can go into the Temple of the Dead, the Shadow Temple in the Kakariko Village graveyard,
Yeah.
which I think this might be the easiest dungeon in the entire game.
Yeah.
As long as you find the compass and the map, you're going to find all the chests, and all you have to do is just use the lens of truth and the hover boots.
Yeah.
And there's actually one puzzle that I did like that was you have to use the iron boots when the fans are blowing so that they don't push you back, and just walk with the iron boots. But the boss for the dungeon is really cool. Karradyne, do you remember the boss for the Shadow Temple?
No.
Bongo.
No. There was no bongo. I promise you.
Bongo creeped me the fuck out the first time I saw him as a kid.
What's bongo look like?
So the arena is a giant bongo drum, and two giant hands just slam down onto it and keep
What's up with the hands?
tapping the bongo, and every time they tap it, Link bounces up. And it's the giant hands are like up to a little bit above the wrist, and then it just kind of closes into a cone, and it's all bloody, kind of like a stump, like they got chopped off.
What the hell?
Then you see the monster, and the monster has the arms with the bloody stumps hanging off, and a giant eyeball in the middle that you have to hit with the arrow and then sword swipe.
None of that happened.
None of that happened?
No.
The first time I saw him, I freaked out. I had no health. I had no fairies. And Nick bumped the desk. So that's almost as scary as fighting Bongo Bongo. But this time when I fought him, it was too easy. I just wailed on him with the big Oron sword, and it's over. What do you think about Bongo Bongo?
I think you covered it mostly.
Yeah, you didn't think anything about him? No
No,
reaction
I
the first
mean-
time you saw him?
So, I mean, a lot of my original playthroughs was split between my brothers.
Okay.
Because he only had so many save files.
Yeah.
And there was 6 of us. So it was a fight for who got the save file. So mainly, we kind of just paired up, and it's like, okay, you get one, us two share this, us two share this. So, I honestly don't remember Bongo Bongo that much. I remember dropping in under the gravestones, and I remember having to go through the challenges. But,
Yeah. Okay. So you don't actually remember fighting Bongo Bongo?
No, I mean, as you're describing him, it's all kind of coming back to me. I remember shooting him in the eye with the arrow. That's honestly describes most things in that game, though.
Yeah, just shoot him in the eye.
You have to shoot him in the eye. You have to stun him. Shit, even opening the fucking doors, you have to shoot something in the eye. You know what I mean? Like,
This doesn't sound like a game I would like.
The doors have eyeballs. There's one in the forest temple.
Yeah.
It's the eyeball, and it's encased in ice. So,
What?
So you have to shoot your arrow through a flame at the eye so that it can hit the eyeball.
That's fucked up.
it's the name of the game, though. Like, if you learn how to stun the enemy and then just go beat the shit out of him with your sword, you're good. And you're either shooting a Deku seed back at it, or shooting it with the arrow, or waiting till it fucking turns around and fucking shooting it in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you beat the game.
So they should have named this game The Legend of Zelda Shoot It in the Fucking Eye. Because that's how you beat most of these bosses. So Link kills Bongo Bongo, finds out that Impa is the Sage of Shadow.
I don't feel like I remember that being revealed.
Really?
I feel like we have Shadow Link, we go to Ganon, he kills Ganon, like, boom.
So
and
they didn't even
done.
talk about the Spirit Temple.
I don't think so.
And they skipped, like,
Wow.
half of the game.
Yeah, they skipped a good chunk of the game. Because then after that, you have to go to the Spirit Temple, which, first off, you go to the Gerudo
Valley.
Yeah, the valley. You have to save the carpenters.
Yeah.
Once you save the carpenters, they give you a pass so that you can be the only man that can go into this village and not be killed by these warrior women. Because the Gerudo is a tribe of women.
I know the Gerudos, they talked about that.
So they're a tribe of women, only women, and every 100 years only one male is born and he becomes the king.
And it was Ganondorf.
And it was Ganondorf.
I'm glad they covered that. I was going to ask, did they cover
Very
his
That's
briefly.
origins?
important. That's
It's
very,
very
important.
important,
That's
yeah.
how he
Briefly.
became. That's how he became the king of thieves.
Yeah.
That sounds like Aladdin.
Please don't do that.
Funny enough, I don't think it happens in Ocarina, but in Breath of the Wild, when you get to the valley, you actually have to cross-dress as
Yeah.
Link.
Yeah.
And you kind of look like the hookers from Aladdin. It's just very
Oh, that's
colorful,
awesome.
flowy, and you're just hiding your shame as you sneak around.
I love it.
It's like there's this one little comic online where Link tries to go in and they're like, "Vo, no." And then he immediately opens the menu, changes into his women clothing, talks to them, and they're like, "Vi, yes." And he's allowed to walk in. So they explained that Ganon was the king of thieves. He was the king of the Gerudo. Then you get to the Spirit Temple. You have to travel back in time so that you can go there as a kid, meet Naboru, who is a lone thief from the Gerudo that doesn't have anything to do with the tribe. And she makes you steal the gauntlets to give them to her so she can go fight Ganon. In the meantime, she gets kidnapped by Kome and Kotake, which are two witches that are part of Ganon's underlings. And you have to go back in time, go forward in time, become an adult, go solve the entire dungeon, kill Komei and Katake, find out that Noboru was the Sage of Spirit, which is the fucking end of the game. Why would you introduce a new character and give him such an important role at the end of the game?
I mean, the sages really didn't matter.
No.
You're just kind of like checking shit off as you went. And you're just like, okay, yep, found you. Okay, found you. And now it's Ganon. But wait, the bridge is out.
And then the bridge is out. Yeah. So the thing is that these sages, these 6 sages, are so important to the lore of Zelda that just having to shoehorn this one in at the end, it's kind of like, you could have done this better.
Yeah, but it's not crucial for gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to solve some dungeons and go kill Ganon.
That's most people, I think, probably skip through a lot of the lore shit.
Most of the dialogue.
Yeah, you're like, fuck dialogue. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay, so after Link finds out she's the sage and he saves everything, he goes to where Hyrule Castle used to be, which is now Ganon's Tower.
Floating in the sky above a giant crater.
Yes.
Yep. And then the sages make a rainbow bridge for Link to walk over.
With the fairies.
No?
That may have happened.
Kind of summon all the fairies and all the lands.
It
with
all
the
happened so
sages.
fast. They were at the tower. Boom, boom. Ganon Pig. Over.
Jesus Christ.
And the ending really pissed me off.
This manga just sounds terrible. So yeah, the sages, they use like their sparkly fairy lights to make the bridge. You go in, you have to solve 6 small challenge rooms.
Pseudo-dungeons, yeah.
And after that, you get the barrier dispelled so you can go kill Ganon. But before that, in the one that's supposed to be based on the Shadow Temple, you get the Golden Gauntlets, which you can use, pull up a pillar, go talk to that fairy. That fairy will make it so that you only take half damage, which is the end of the game. It's fucking useless. Just like getting the red mail in the final dungeon of fucking Link to the Past. I hate that shit so much. I hated that. It's just as useless. Anyways, you fight Ganon. You shoot him with the arrow of light that Zelda gives you when you finish collecting all the amulets. He supposedly dies. You have to escape the tower. Tower crumbles. He comes out of the rubble, and he becomes Giant Pig Ganon.
Yay!
Your favorite Giant Pig Ganon.
It just really bothered me that he was a pig.
Is it? I don't.
And then
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you fight him in human form, they just refer to him as Ganon.
And then he's
and
Ganondorf
then
when he's
once-
a pig.
Correct. Once he becomes... I never really saw a pig. I kind of always saw more of like a Bahamut, like, horned thing.
I see Pumbaa, but
see
on
Pumbaa?
drugs.
But yeah, I believe once he hits his final stage, it's now Ganondorf.
Okay, so
And what is his weak point when he is Ganondorf?
so the tail.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Ganon when he's the giant pig monster. It's Ganondorf when he's human.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let
Pulled
me
the old switcheroo on us.
Ganon. Ocarina.
I'm gonna Mandela effect that. I don't think that's accurate, but
You don't think that's accurate?
it's been a while since I played this game.
Okay, so yeah, Ganondorf is his human form. Ganon is his giant pig form. So yeah, look, it's a giant pig with horns and
Pumbaa.
a glowy tail that you have to hit.
I don't know, man. He's got like cloven hoof and like. If I saw a pig like that, I'd probably stop eating pork
Run.
altogether.
I mean, I would want to eat pork so that I could be stronger. Maybe it'll give me giant hoofs and
Sorry,
horns
if you
and
look like
shit.
that, we're done. We're done.
I just scream more power.
I need the Triforce.
I need the Triforce. Oh, another thing that we kind of glossed over. Ganon has the Triforce of power.
Strength, yeah.
I want to say Saria. Zelda has the Triforce of wisdom.
Correct.
And Link has the Triforce of...
Courage.
There you go, the cowardly dog. You don't get it?
No, I do. You're just random as fuck.
So Ganon wants to kill them so he can take the Triforces and finish the Triforce so that he can get his wish. So maybe this would make more sense if this is where he kills Link and it becomes the hero is dead timeline. He gets his wish from the Triforce. The land becomes the Shadow World, and then there's an alternate land, which is Hyrule. They still need to explain that shit because it's bonkers. So anyways, Link kills Giant Pig Ganon. Zelda helps. Link stabs him in the face really hard with the Master Sword. Zelda pulls Link apart into a separate dimension, takes the ocarina, sends him back to being a child so that he can relive being a child. He instead goes into the Lost Woods, loses Navi, and presumably dies. And that's how the next game starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all a dream. None of this happened.
Yeah, I was just
Link
irritated that Zelda was just like, oh, we're in peace times. We don't need a hero anymore. So bye. You're going to be a kid again. Peace out.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
thank
basically,
you.
that sums up most of the games. Link is asleep because nobody wants or needs him.
Poor Link.
And then some big shit goes down.
We need him.
And then they're just like, shit, fuck, wake his ass up. We need him again. And I mean, how many games start out with Link waking up from some deep eternal slumber?
The last one did.
Let me see.
Not eternal, but he was asleep.
He was asleep. 1, 2. He technically is asleep while he's sitting on Epona at the beginning of Majora's Mask.
Correct.
And Breath of the Wild.
Yep. That was more like he was dead and resurrected, like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wind Waker. He is literally awoken by his sister at the beginning of the game. What's the other one? Link to
the Past.
The other one, Link's Awakening.
Okay.
It's literally Link being awakened.
Yeah.
No shit.
Shit, you might be right.
Yeah.
The only one I'm not sure of is Twilight Princess because I haven't played that in a long time.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played that. Wii was kind of
Well, GameCube.
yeah.
So, but damn. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I want to even say like Four Swords and stuff, but don't quote me on it. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either. All I remember is fighting that giant stupid ass bird over and over again in that one area where you had to go inside the building and smack it inside the building with the hammer. So, Karradyne, what did you think about the manga overall?
I wasn't a fan. I felt like it was written for children. Everything was glossed over and rushed. And I didn't give it a very high rating.
That hurts.
I mean, you sit down and read it. I know I hogged it the whole time and you couldn't read it this time.
It's fine.
But, yeah, it was like 2.5 stars.
2.5 stars?
Yeah, it was real bad. It was bad.
Jesus Christ.
It was not good.
All right, so before we give Ocarina of Time a rating, let's go over a couple of things. Nick, what you think about the graphics?
First run through, holy shit. These are amazing. It's so cool that they got ears and a face and a nose.
And the nose.
It's
not like James Bond, which is like cardboard with a face skin wrapped around it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, reviewing it now, everything comes to sharp angles.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the new Tesla Cybertruck of graphics. But I mean, for the time, everything was really that same way. Mario had those same sharp ones.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem 64. Everything that was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
At least on the 64. PlayStation, they figured out how to kind of smooth things out a bit better. But
I mean, have you seen Final Fantasy VII?
yeah, Tomb Raider. I mean, things were still pretty blocky.
Yeah.
But at the time, fantastic.
See, I played it on the 3DS, and it looks awesome.
Oh, did they smooth everything out?
Yeah, they redid They pretty much redid the entire game, but exactly the same way as it was on 64.
Okay.
So all the bugs, all the cheats, everything that you can do on 64, you can do on 3DS.
Good, because that makes the game kind of.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing as
You know
just
what
a
I
new
mean?
coat of paint.
Okay. I
So-
can dig it.
It looks really cool, and I do like one thing is that in a lot of the promotional art for the game on 64, you would see that Link would have a belt across his chest for
Yeah.
carrying the shield and the sword.
Yeah.
They did that on the 3DS version, so he did have the
The sash.
that he didn't have on the 64.
Essentially, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know,
And next thing is the sound design. So what do you think about the music and Link's nonstop screaming?
I mean, at this point, it's kind of been accepted and beloved by all fans of Zelda that
This
Link
best-
is only yeah.
The sound design, it's so classic, those screams and shit, that
Yeah.
for the Game Boy Advance version of A Link to the Past, they used the same exact screams for everything.
Exactly. I mean, it's perfect. But I mean, the music is just captivating. I mean, you have so many artists that have taken that music. It's just nice. It's calming, but it goes across all genres. Lindsey Sterling does a fantastic,
Yeah.
play of all things Zelda.
Yeah.
I love the music. I find
There's,
myself from time to time just whistling, some
song
random
of-
song.
Song of Time. It's always
Yeah.
Song of Time for me.
Epona song.
The lullaby.
Yeah.
There is a DJ called Asphyxia. He did a dubstep version of Lost Woods.
Yeah.
I can see Darunia getting down to that shit because it is really good.
I mean, I think you could take the Gerudo Valley.
The Gerudo Valley is the
it's like-
best. The best song in
It
the
almost
entire
like
game.
you turn up the BPM on it, and you might honestly have like a nice house mix right there with like a nice salsa. I mean, it's fire.
it's
As
a
a kid, you're
really-
just like sitting there for a minute, like. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
It's so good.
Get those maracas going, and you're just like, shit, I'm starting to feel something.
It's a great song. It's a really good flamenco song, and
I saw real flamenco dancing in Spain.
was it to the Gerudo Valley song?
I wouldn't have known. It may have been.
Well, it really doesn't matter then. So, and the gameplay is just classic Zelda. I mean, it's everything that
really
Zelda
is.
was on the original game, on the Super Nintendo game, just 3D. And
Cool.
for it being the first attempt at a 3D Zelda experience, they fucking nailed it.
Nailed it.
I mean, there's nothing you can say. It's 2021. We're talking about a game from 1998, and I think it's better than a bunch of games that I played this year.
Yeah, I mean, even like some remakes, it still holds up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a game that's just beloved by all. I mean, back in the day, game magazines, because that's how we still got our news about shit, all awarded it
Game of the year.
Game of the Year.
I mean, game
Best
of the
game
decade.
ever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat it.
No.
From the story to the gameplay to the puzzles. I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't too hard for a kid. It was still challenging. I look at the world speedrun records of, I believe, 16.
Seconds?
No, for the full game.
Oh.
16 hours? Minutes?
Might be minutes. Because
Yeah.
16 hours, I feel like that's way too much. 16
Yeah.
hours would be like sitting down and enjoying it.
Probably. So, I mean, 16 minutes, it blows my mind.
Yeah, but those are like sequence breaking.
Yeah.
And exploiting glitches that will let you. Actually, I did see one for Link to the Past last week where right at the beginning of the game, you can skip the entire game and go straight to the final screen where you touch the Triforce and end the game right there. It takes like 16 seconds.
Well, shit.
Yeah, so if they can do that with Ocarina of Time, I'm sure they've done it with Ocarina of Time. And let's go over the problems with the game. Did you find any problems with the game? Any issues that you remember hating?
I mean, I already brought up, having to fucking use sound. I remember as a kid having trouble finding the spirit temple through the desert.
All you had to do was just use the lens of truth and follow the pole.
Exactly, yeah. The faces of the people when you're adult Link, really just in general, even as kid Link, I mean, everyone just had like such like demented faces, and it may have just been the graphics of the time, but I mean, everyone's face. And then you find like a nice soft face and you're like, oh, that's so pleasant. And then you go to like the mask vendor and you're just like, what the fuck?
That fucking smile, man. It's
the
so
smile. I mean, they all had that
terrifying.
creepy smile. Apparently, mustaches were in Hyrule at that
Yeah.
time.
That's
But
very, very
no, I
Freddie
mean,
Mercury.
overall, I love this game. I will pick it up and play it anytime.
Yeah. So the only problems that I had, I don't remember right now because I love this game so much. But I know I did mention I had a problem with the game earlier. I just don't remember what it was.
Sure.
Let me see. I mean, other than that one thing with Noboru at the end, no, not really. Not really.
I mean, I think a widely accepted problem would be Navi.
Yeah.
I haven't met a single person that was just like, Navi was truly delightful through this entire
No.
game.
No.
I mean, getting spammed with, hey, listen,
So the thing
hey, listen,
I-
hey, listen, Ganondorf has no weaknesses.
No, I
Fucking
can't help you in
thanks,
this fight.
Navi.
I never noticed how annoying she was until people online actually started saying Navi's very annoying. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true, she is. But
Yeah,
I mean, then again, the game is just perfection.
It is.
It's so fucking good.
it's one of those things where even the small problems add to its greatness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like, not to make a call to my one true love, Star Wars. All the problems of the original trilogy just add to make it what it is. Without those stupid little flaws and,
Like the
story
stormtrooper banging his
problems.
head on the door walking in.
Yeah, without all that stuff, you wouldn't have what it is.
No.
And I think that's what makes this game so good.
So we do a rating of maximum 5 out of 5. What do you think this game is?
I'd give it, and it might be nostalgia talking, but 5 out of 5 all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with this game. I love this game. I replayed this game, and it's so fucking good. So 5 seems right compared to Karradyne's terrible 2.5 of that manga.
It was not good. It just wasn't.
I can't believe
I have to be honest.
I can't believe they just cut that whole part with Impa being a sage and Noboru being a sage and all that shit. I mean, that's such good storytelling.
It may have been there. I was so over it at that point. But I know for a fact that a lot of that stuff you asked me about was not there.
Didn't they make an anime adaptation from the manga? I feel like I've seen it somewhere in the ethos.
Not 100% sure. I want
No.
to say no, but I'm not sure.
I'll have to look it up.
Because I know they've been saying that there's going to be a manga that's going to an anime that's going to happen, but that's been years. So, all right. So that's it for Ocarina of Time. So let's go into some housekeeping so we can end this show because it is running already at almost an hour and a half. Jesus shit, this might be
Oops.
the longest episode we've done so far. So sign up for our Patreon. It's $2 a month. You get extra content, extra episodes, and you get to decide what games we are going to review, what books we're going to review, and places we're going to eat. There are 2 posts right now for games and books that we're going to review in August. So please go vote there. We're also doing a giveaway. You can find the instructions on our Instagram, which you can find at Instagram at anovelconsole. Same for Twitter at anovelconsole. On Facebook, you can find us on facebook.com/anovelconsole. Don't forget, You can also tell your friends that they can find the podcast on most major podcast streaming platforms. And don't forget to tell them to subscribe, like, and comment, which we would be humbled if they did.
Which?
Yes. You should also leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts so that more people can find the show and we can get this community grown. And you can also email us at anovelconsole@gmail.com. And we will read your email on the show. Or not, depending on what you say. We don't care. Also, we are still receiving emails for Zelda Month. We will read all these emails at the end of the month in the final episode with our guest. And that will be a very fun episode. It's probably going to run longer than this one, if I'm honest. And our art was done by Metamorphique on Instagram. You can find her link on the description for the episode. And it's been great having you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, you know.
We definitely should do this again with a game that's not Zelda so that you can...
Yeah, I mean, bring me back.
Dive into it.
Give me a deep dive. Even if you want to talk Star Wars, I literally will come here and talk Star Wars for years.
We could do a Star Wars game.
I want to read Star Wars books, but he told me not to.
I will lend you. I actually, not to get sidetracked here, my father-in-law just picked us up a first EU book released in God knows how long. It was blessed by Lucasfilms, but not by Disney. So it literally was pulled off of Amazon within like a few days.
Really?
So it continues on with Han, Luke, and Leia after the fall of the Empire. I've read like the first 5 pages.
I was about to ask you if it was amazing.
I will gladly let you borrow it since you are more of a reader than I am if you want to dive in the death trap that is Star Wars EU books.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right, so we can do that. And we can also tackle, Fallen Order or Battlefront or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we could do Battlefront. There's KOTOR. There's SOTOR. Knights of the...
I actually have KOTOR.
Shadows of the Empire.
I have KOTOR on my list to buy on Steam.
If you've never played KOTOR for original Xbox, I highly recommend it.
Okay. So we can do KOTOR.
We
have to watch
it's
more
been
shows.
a long time.
We do have to watch
we're
the
real
shows.
behind, or I am.
Yeah.
And you are because of me.
Yeah. Always dragging me down.
Star Wars in general, call me up. I will be here. You want to get into some Norse lore, I will spin the web of weird like the Norns.
I mean...
Have you read Norse mythology by Neil Gaiman?
Yeah, I actually have it on my Audible. Listen to it about once a month. And then also the Prose Edda by Jackson.
Don't know that one. I haven't read Neil Gaiman's yet either, but it's there waiting for me.
Gaiman's does a great job of telling the stories of the gods.
Nice.
Not bad, not bad. All right, so I guess that's it for this week's episode. We will be back next week with Majora's Mask. So do you all want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
You don't want to say goodbye, Nick?
Hey, listen.
Okay, that's enough of that, Navi. Goodbye, everyone.